All right, it's a foot day. One of the motions we could potentially lose from wearing shoes too often or just not getting enough movement is the ability to move our forefoot, the front half of the foot, independently from the back. The foot should be able to turn so that it can adapt to uneven ground surfaces when we land on it. But often because we're so rigid in that part of the foot, we do that motion from your ankle, and when I do that, look what happens. I have to actually change my whole leg to accomplish it. So that could put shearing force through the knee or through the hip by accident, but it's also going to dysregulate my nervous system. If all the movement's coming from there, that's what my nervous system learns, and then my nervous system starts to direct me to move from there. And because so many people have a history of ankle sprains in their life, we're already a little dysregulated from the weakness that causes. And so we do need to do some strengthening work and mobility work with those more deep intrinsic muscles in the feet. Okay, enough lecturing. Here's your demo. You need a strap, a yoga strap, a belt, or a necktie, and we're gonna place it under the forefoot. I want you to go right across your transverse arch, so that's like the knuckles of all your toes. So I'm just gonna turn sideways so you can see where that is. I also tried to slip my legging on my foot so you could see what I'm calling my hind foot versus my forefoot. Now this is not how I want you to stand, but while I'm sideways, I'm gonna be pulling up on one side of the strap than the other to try to rotate the front of my foot. Now I would prefer you stood with your legs parallel, hip width apart. And as upright as your strap lets you get, like I have a yoga strap so I can stand up straight, your belt might not allow for that. So you can even start it in a slight squat or a bit hinged forward at your hips. But I want you to keep this motion small. So I'm pulling up, trying to leave my pinky toe down. And then when I lift my pinky toe, I'm trying to leave the big toe down. I don't want it to become so big that I accidentally pull myself into the ankle roll I showed you. This is like when you're first learning imprint and I'm like, rock your pelvis. Okay, now do it like a quarter of as big. I think you're gonna have that sensation too. If you rock it a lot, it's a passive action that feels easy and maybe doesn't even feel good. But if you make it this teeny tiny, after like 6 or 7 of them, you're gonna notice that it's actually a lot of work, that you are mobilizing your foot from your arms, but you're decelerating and stopping the motion from those deep muscles in your feet I'm talking about. Okay, that's like all you have to do. Now, I am gonna do my other foot, but just so I can tell you other things. What I would actually like you to do, if the weekend allows for this, is do this with your foot and then go for a walk. And see if just this additional focus, oh, see, I'm rocking my legs, I'm talking to you. If just this additional focus of creating this torsion in the forefoot frees up your gait a little bit. Just doing this might actually make you feel your butt a little bit more when you walk. If you have extra time for more warm up before you go, now that I said walking, my brain got going, how about maybe some of the toe lifts too? And if you've never done those before, now we're trying to keep that transverse pad down and just lift up the toes so that we're stretching the tendons underneath your toes that are overused from gripping the bottom of your shoe. And if you can do that easily, the advancement of that is just to spread the toes while they're in the air before placing them down. You see how much wider my foot is. So I lift and they get close, I spread them and drop. Okay, so just those 2 things. We'll keep it simple because I'd really rather you used your time walking. I think it's still gonna be chilly today though, so bundle up.